Welcome to Dardasha, doing a bit of a live stream as there was protests around the country today. Let's try and find out what that was all about.
Increasingly, people have come here from abroad. Today, 1 in 5 of its population were born outside of the UK. The owner of this barbershop has seen a change.
Town's getting multicultural, and that's good. That's what we need. And
Some people don't like it.
Getting to work.
Daya from India is one of 2 foreign employees here. He came from Goa in 2017, hoping to find work.
Yeah, here are many opportunities here. So
This is an extract from Sky News talking about the migration
Brian
crisis.
Davies' fitting business was affected by the arrival of more migrant workers.
A lot of foreigners coming over, driving the prices down. But again, I did end up taking 2 of them on as well. Their work ethic is better than most of my guys.
Even so, he wants to see the numbers cut.
England just seems to let anyone in and make it as easy as possible.
Is it something that concerns you?
I just think it's gone a bit too far, I think.
Immigration has gone too far. Do you agree? Are there too many immigrants coming to this country? Maybe you are an immigrant, and maybe you think we need more of them. Here's journalist Stephen Edgington revealing the shocking truth, apparently.
Social media. That's what the police explicitly said. We have now arrested a woman who posted something incorrect that included incorrect, false information online. Now, if that's not an authoritarian state, I don't know what is.
So they're worried about the fact that you can be arrested now for spreading incorrect information online. You can't say anything these days.
My question as well is, we're kind of going...
Here he is again on diversity, equity and inclusion.
Great Britain today, we've got to understand that this lead up is the country aging? Is its demographics declining, like in terms of its...
Maybe this is one of the arguments why we do need immigration, because our population is aging rapidly.
That's driving this kind of decision making?
The country is aging, and you're right, that is certainly one of the arguments that pro-migration people make, is that we need workers to fill jobs that we just simply don't have the labour, the domestic labour to fill. But my question is, are these workers, are these migrants, are they not going to go old? Are they not going to grow old? Are they not going to require pensions? Are they not going to require the NHS? Are they not going to require services, infrastructure, and welfare?
Well, we all grow old eventually, don't we?
This is just simply delaying the problem. Until politicians take the issue of collapsing fertility rates seriously, then this problem will only continue. And I think migrants are making it worse. As we've seen today, as I said, £150,000 per migrant is what it costs the British taxpayer for these low-skilled people. So they are an incredible...
If anyone does want to give me a call, the number is in the title. We can talk about it, or anything else you want to talk about.
Again, it's a legacy of...
This guy doesn't like migrants.
Indeed. So within this context, we arrived to when there was a national election. You know that under the Labour government, we have the new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Can you help us understand...
This guy sounds American.
And what were the key issues in the election, and how it panned out that England, the UK, elected a Labour government?
What happened was the Conservatives lost their voters. They lost their support.
What do you think happened? Every few years we get a Tory government, they're in for a term or so, and then you get a Labour government, and they're in for a term or so, and then it swaps around. It just swings back and forth. Is one better than the other? Is one slightly less worse? Probably.
That fascinating. So, would it be fair to say that this last election then is certainly not a full national mandate, but a lot of the voters were protesting the state of where they were and just wanted a change desperately because they were so fed up with where they're at?
I think we got to a point where people just despised the Conservatives and didn't believe a word that they said. When they make all these promises and you go back on them, eventually people are going to start to understand that.
All right, let's go from one country's election to the other one happening across the pond coming up. We've got Donald Trump possibly returning to the White House. Let's have a little listen to his interview today. This has been billed as Trump's worst interview yet.
It's the countries that if you have America at the moment has $3 trillion worth of imports, you're going to add tariffs to every single one of them. That is going to push up the cost for all those people who want to buy foreign goods.
Now, what's going to happen?
Simple mathematics, President Trump.
It's not. It is not the way you figured. I was always very good at mathematics.
Come back.
Trump was always very good at mathematics, and he knows that every single economist is wrong. The tariffs are going to be
What
great
does
for
Donald Trump
everybody.
do?
Now, at one
Did
point
you
during
hear
this
him?
interview-
Did you see Donald Trump working in McDonald's? Apparently, Kamala Harris claimed that she had a job in McDonald's at one point, but that could never be confirmed. But Trump actually did pitch up and did some work experience at McDonald's, and he was giving out the fries and saying he might come back and do that job again. Here's Fox News trying to catch Kamala, who might yet be the first woman president. Far right in America are not going to enjoy that, are they?
47th president of the United States. Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United
Oh,
States.
Ben Chivinda, bro, what is this stream? No one wants to listen to this. Call me up, Ben. You sound like a bit of a loser. Phone me up and let's have it out on the airwaves.
And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies,
If you watch any of his rallies,
demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded. I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing. So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not
with all due
what
respect.
he's saying about the enemy within that he has repeated.
Omar, have you joined us? Oh, welcome. Yeah, there's a guy that wants to beat you up. Ben Chivinda. Bro, what is this stream? No one wants to hear. Yeah, the number's on the screen. Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're live. We're live. I'm just listening to a clip from Kamala, or is it Kamala? No, I can't see you either, but that's probably for the best, isn't it? You don't want to know. Yeah, look, I think we could keep it radio style. Yeah, I know, you're all dressed up for nothing with the red bow tie. That is the Nation of Islam traditional dress, isn't it? What? Why did they choose that? Okay, they certainly got that right. Why do the Sikh people wear a turban? That's no, that is true. But you could just have long hair uncut and protect it with something else. I suppose so. I'd heard that when the Sikh faith was born, India was under the Mughal Empire, and the Mughals or Moguls wore turbans. So the Sikhs were trying to show that they were elite or they were as good as them.
We used to be a country where we had freedom.
Yeah, yeah. It was meant to be sort of a happy middle ground between the two, right? There's no Sikh, there's no Hindu, there's no Muslim. We're all Sikh now. Yes. How am I racist? Wow. Unfortunately, I think the divide and conquer has kind of worked a little bit. And when there's tension between the Muslim and Sikh community, or in wider Indian community, possibly Hindus also, that some of them gravitate towards the far right as they perceive it's something against Islam or Muslims. Look, I can understand if your family come from India and you've had a hard time under the Mughal Empire that wasn't like all empires did a lot of bad things. You could understand why some people would be upset. Mm. Well, look, slavery hasn't been around in the West for 300 years, but you still bang on about it. Okay, good call, good count. 160. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. It's my mum's birthday. Yeah. Uh, well, maybe it was the Islam that they encountered. Maybe Tommy Robinson's been shaped by the Muslims he encountered in his youth. Doesn't look one Muslim can't speak for the whole of Islam, right? Just as the Mughal Empire cannot. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Do you think that was the spark that caused all the problems? Okay. Oh wow. So he lost, or friends of his became Muslim, and he couldn't handle it. Yeah. Okay. Mm. As a former Arabic student, can you give me the meaning of al muhajirun? Spot on. Yeah, spot on. That's right. Muhajirun, the people that made hijrah, and the Muhajirs are an ethnic group in Pakistan, right? They emigrated. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Thank you for your sensitivity. That's during the time of 1947, when Hindus went one way and Muslims went another. But that's a good thing, isn't it? You want to keep everybody. Mm. Wow. Yeah, when I was in Pakistan, the family I stayed with, the dad was born in India and came over at a very young age. I think he could sort of barely remember making that journey, or maybe too young to remember, but certainly born in India, technically still an Indian, aren't you? Just with a new passport and identity. Mm, mm. Some of the Israel supporters make the comparison, what happened in India and Pakistan partition or forced population exchange, with what happened and the Palestinians that were expelled from what became Israel. And of course, there was a huge influx of Jews from the Middle East in the following years and decades, and they sort of equate the two and say, look how Hindus and Muslims swapped places. This is what's happened here. You just got to get on with it. Thank you. Inshallah to come.
Okay, so
Yeah, I do remember that guy. The key difference being that the Muslims got a state, they got Pakistan. One of the differences. The Palestinians to this day don't have a state, and some people think that is the crux of the matter. I think there should be one state personally, but that's just me.
okay, so
Mm. Hmm. The Muhajirs.
just spend another.
No doubt. What what is the what is the status of the Muhajirs in Pakistan? Are they discriminated against? Are they elite? Where do they lie in the ladder? Mm.
Okay,
Mhm. Okay, the, the family name might be a giveaway, or even then it would be difficult.
so I've just
Uh-huh. So that's a Western convention then. So when people come over and their surname is Khan, like about 2/3 of Pakistanis, is that a class? Is that actually a caste thing, or where's that come from? Khan as a surname. Okay, okay. Oliver Kahn, great goalkeeper.
okay,
All
so
right, let's listen to Robert Carter, a reporter. I used to see him quite a bit, actually. He would come to George Galloway's show. Uh, he is reporting for Five Pillars. Yeah, there you go.
I've just spent another afternoon just following around the demonstrators here at this far right rally, Tommy Robinson sponsored rally. Basically, it's more of the same. I think that what I noticed was, again, just loutish behaviour, a lot of swearing, some Islamophobia, which you could overhear whilst walking past people. There's obviously a lot of people drinking. There's a lot of people taking drugs. So there's loads and loads of weed everywhere.
Sounds like a fun party so far.
Loads of public urination. Again, so kind of like disorderly behaviour. Didn't see any violence. I think there's a massive police presence here today, and they're making sure that things remain as peaceful as possible. But obviously, the afternoon is still young, so that could change. I think that obviously it's like I've mentioned before. I feel like this is becoming a personality cult now surrounding Tommy Robinson and individuals like him. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of supporters of Israel like to come to these Tommy Robinson rallies.
That's a regular feature now. And this is a regime currently conducting a genocide against Muslims and Arabs. So that's an interesting thing to know. There's always a presence of supporters of Israel here, even though supporters of Israel would claim that it's not, like a racist movement or anything like that. But it seems as if right-wingers and far-right activists who support Israel as well, they happen to be bedfellows. That's what it seems.
Today, we thank that same Jesus Christ for the life of Tommy Robinson.
They're getting religious now.
For the heart, the spirit, and the passion of that man.
I'm noticing that Christianity is being spoken about a lot now. At these rallies now, there's a lot of Christian folk songs. There's a lot of chants and things like that linking like Jesus to Tommy Robinson, as if Tommy Robinson lives some kind of Christian lifestyle. I mean, I don't know if Tommy Robinson is a Christian. I've never associated him with Christianity in any way. I never thought he was even particularly religious. That's not his ideology. But if he is a Christian all of a sudden, I mean, he's like a terrible Christian. I mean, how could anyone possibly believe that he's practicing, Christian teaching?
Well, even Richard Dawkins has come out recently as a cultural Christian. Do you hear that? The guy that's obsessed with religion and being against religion and denying God. He wants to be a cultural Christian now. Maybe the Christians are trying to do what the... Well, I mean, where do Western values come from? They call it Judeo-Christian values, don't they? When they want to couple it together. Maybe there's a movement of Christians that want to do what some Jewish people did and make it a culture, make it an ethnicity, rather than just a religion. Okay, good point. Well, give me an example other than the Jewish identity. Okay,
Things very well.
good point. That's a good point.
But
Mm, yeah, that is a good that's a good shout. Switching topic. Yeah, go on. Oh dear. You okay? There should have been more drugs. Self-hate. Like it is a stereotype, but these people seem to be the same. I mean, it's well known that football hooligans, or that the word goes around in the football hooligan community, and it is a community. When one of these riots is on, and they all sort of descend on it, and yeah, good point. How many arrests were there? Oh, I guess that's a good thing. Do you want to talk about Africa for a minute? Here's footage of the Ghanaian president snitching on other African countries to gain favour with America. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. Prime Minister of Burkina Faso in the last 10 days has been in Moscow. And to have them operating on our northern border is particularly distressing for us in Ghana. We would really like to have a privileged opportunity
to talk about its implications.
You've actually got a friend who's an African politician, haven't you? Wow. Well, no, what, corrupt person from Nigeria? No way. Maybe he's going to share it with it. This is not. I'm getting mixed up with President Obonjo. He's someone else. Okay. Okay. Of course. Yeah. Laughter Republic. Different place altogether. This Ghanaian sounds very. He sounds very English, doesn't he? Do you think the elite in Africa try and sound like the former leaders of their nation?
I really like to have this opportunity.
Hmm. Oh yes. Oh God. Hartley Brewer. Yeah. Code. Is it called code switching? It's subconscious. Um, Kamala Harris is accused of that one. Okay. Yeah, that's true. We've all got a different personality at work, haven't we? Then yeah. Well, if, if we've all had a Luton accent. Yeah, for sure. Well, um, here in West London, we sound nothing like the people in East London. But I mean, the London accent has changed now, and there's no the Cockneys all moved to Essex and the surrounding area. The Cockney accent was apparently a French accent, a Huguenot accent, the French Protestants that came and settled in the east of London and couldn't pronounce the H in hotel and that sort of thing, um, influenced the accent. Well, I think Australian people, being as they are descended from criminals, are probably the descendants of Cockney vagrants and people that were sent there in the 1800s. Robin, Robin Cook. Yeah, I'm thinking of the politician. Um, yeah, um, Yeah, yeah, yeah. In Erinsborough, um, we can have a quick listen to Scott Ritter. Do you know Scott Ritter? American ex-soldier, I think. I think he was uh, possibly involved in the invasion in Iraq. He's very much on the other side now. Here we go.
We should be clear that 72 hours prior to the Iranian attack, CIA Director William Burns met with the Iranians in the Middle East, where the Iranians said, we will be attacking Israel. And if you try to stop us, if you use U.S. forces to attack us, we will attack you. We will destroy all of your bases in the region. And what William Burns said is, as long as you don't kill any civilians, you can attack Israel. So the United States gave permission to Iran to attack Israel. Not that Iran was asking for permission, but the United States said, it's okay, you can attack Israel. Just don't kill any civilians. But the Iranians also gave the United States 72 hours advance notice, which allowed the United States, Israel, and other allies to prepare their defenses. They had airplanes in the air at the right time in the right locations. They had all the radars on. They had all the missiles ready to fire. The Iranians launched their drones 5 hours advance notice. They filmed it. They said, here we come. And for 5 hours, the Israelis, the Americans, the British were waiting, and they shot down the drones. Some of the drones got through, and they were shot down by missiles. Every time they launched a missile, the drones collected that data, sent it back. Then the Iranians fired cruise missiles. And again, it wasn't done in secret. They announced live on TV, here come the cruise missiles. And they fired the cruise missiles. And the cruise missiles made it over Israel, and the Israelis turned on their radars, fired their missiles, and the Iranians collected this information. And then the Iranians fired their ballistic missiles. Some of these ballistic missiles were fired in high trajectories to distract the Israelis and the Americans, who shot them down. That's what they were put up for decoys.
So we're on the brink of World War. I think he's arguing that Israel's Iron Dome isn't all that it's cracked up to be, and that Iran has a better defense system than Israel.
Zionist Lebanon. Israeli
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, mm. Yeah, yeah. That's, yeah. Let's have one last word from an alternative to Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Are you familiar with Jill Stein? Jewish American, female. Let's have a listen.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hamza here. I'm with presidential candidate Jill Stein. She is a Jewish American, and she supports a free Palestine. And Jill Stein, I wanted to ask you, why?
Because it's absolutely outrageous and unacceptable that we are looking at the torture and murder of children on an industrial scale. What's going on in Palestine is absolutely the destruction of human rights, the destruction of international law, and we say no, because as Gaza goes, we all go. This is not about being Muslim, this is not about being Christian, this is not about being Jewish, this is about being human and having human values and not being bludgeoned by the military-industrial complex into an endless war agenda. This is just the latest of the endless wars, which is not only destroying human rights, subjecting and normalizing women and children to torture and murder on an industrial scale. This is about endless war. This is about spending half of our congressional dollars on the endless war machine, of which this genocidal war is just the latest instance. So this is harming us. This is impoverishing us. The average cost to the American average household is $12,000 this year alone for this endless war machine. We say no more money for murder, no more money for genocide, no more dollars or weapons for Israel. This is about stepping up to international law and human rights on behalf of all of us. We can take that money from this overblown military and put it actually into true security here at home, meeting our desperate, urgent needs for healthcare and housing, for education, to get people out of debt, to meet the climate crisis. We need to use that money here for human purposes and to support human rights around the world, but not to be actually spreading death and destruction, which is what the military-industrial complex and the war machine and our congressional budget is all about now. We need to get the warmongers out of positions of power, and we need to have actual public servants. So go to our website, jillstein2024.com, and own this campaign. This is what America is looking for, a politics that is of, by, and for the people that's serving us, not the power mongers.
Dr. Stein, you have my vote.
Thank you so much.
Oh, she's got at least one vote, but I fear it won't be enough. Still lose. Yeah. Mm, yeah, there's a strong influence. Mm, mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. 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 Sheikh Imran Hussein, who inshallah I'll be seeing soon. Uh, coming true. Well, they removed all the settlers from one piece of it and put them into the other piece. They came out of Gaza, but locked the door, locked the people inside, and all those settlers went to the West Bank. But if you want to, yeah, go on. Well, that's a strong point actually. If you how as far as Birmingham, if Birmingham is Birmingham any good for you, or is London better? Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Yeah, in theory. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, mate, and thanks for boosting this channel, which everyone should also subscribe to. Nice one, bro. I'll catch you soon. Take care, brother. All right.